Bitch, literally. Don't laugh at me. Don't fucking laugh at me. We talked her through it. Yo. We love a man who can talk us through it. She's a hot fucking mess, guys. I'm stressed so much. And this shit happens. Like, what the fuck, bro? I've had it. I've had it. Who the fuck is Bass? Rowan and Selena do not end up together. This will be the biggest set of blue balls I've ever had in my life. Eat his doo-doo for breakfast. Fuck you. These emotional attachments to each other. And then suddenly, because one fucking stupid bitch wants to be evil. This book just loves to do me so fucking dirty, bitch. Like, I hate you. Okay, so for the love of God, let's not focus on what's going on. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into Heir of Fire, and I'm super excited. You know why? Because there's only like 60 something chapters, and that's a big difference because simultaneously I'm also reading Crescent City. I don't understand why there's 100+ chapters in every single book, but whatever. And I'm really excited because this is where the Fae come in, and we finally get to meet Selena as Aelin. My god, I'm so excited. Immediately, we are thrown in. I forgot that we left off with Selena already heading over to the Fae world. I had to like reread and remind myself that like Chaol found out the big secret and yada yada yada. We're thrown in. No protection, no lube, nothing. Chapter 2, we already meet Rowan. Rowan, bitch. Y'all know I am here for the dark-haired characters. That is literally my MO. Like, that's what I live for, you know? But Rowan might be the exception. An amazing exception, if I do say so myself, okay? I wish there was a POV for him because I want to know what the hell he was thinking when he saw Selena in her interesting garbs. Look, Selena wasn't eating, she wasn't bathing, she wasn't taking care of herself in any way, shape, or form. She came in here with a vengeance, with an agenda, and then suddenly she realized, fuck it, what is there to live for anymore, right? She's constantly surrounded by death. So I totally get Selena, I really do. Guys, I promise you, I kid you not, if you look at my notes, I forgot how much I loved Selena. Like, really, truly, honestly, like, sometimes she pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I put myself in her shoes and I'm like, you dumb bitch, why would you do that? But her attitude, her spunk, like, that smart ass mouth, I love it. I love it. On the other hand, we're introduced to another character, Manon. She's a witch. I kind of already know that her and Dorian are a thing. I know, I keep ruining it for myself. But the thing is I was looking up character art instead of giving me the specific character art that I want. Now they're throwing in Dorian and Manon. I am really trying to like Manon, but I don't know how I feel about her just yet. I know that she's a bad bitch though. The way she came at those 3 villagers, ripped their throats out one by one. I was like, oh, I love a woman with like no soul. And then she finds that one guy who reignites her humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's my personal favorite. Then we're also thrown back in with Dorian and Chaol. Tension is still there. They're not really fighting, but they're keeping a lot of secrets. Chaol is obviously keeping Selena's secret about her being Fae, and he's also keeping secrets as to why he sent her to, I forget the fucking name. Then we get a new introduction to a new character. I confuse Galen with Adian. Not the same. They're not the same person. Galen, I guess, is the good guy. Adian is the bad guy. But they're all related to Selena. Aelin. We're figuring out here that Adian is actually working with the King of Otterlin. He's got the black ring and everything, which to me means absolutely nothing because I've forgotten what happened in the last couple books. I thought Dorian was the one who knew what was going on with his father, but I guess it was Chaol. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. All I know is that Selena is getting her ass kicked, handed to her by Rowan. Rowan takes her to meet Maeve. I'm just gonna act like it's not happening. Takes her to see Maeve, which is her aunt. And then we find out that Rowan is actually, bless you, Rowan is actually her cousin. Like, far, far removed. Like, honestly, they're not even really that related, but there's some blood mixed in there. Initially, I thought that, Rowan, new love interest, but then I'm like, okay, but they're family. So is it still gonna pan out the way that I think? Or then we get introduced to some freaking nurse at the castle, which it's just like, why are all these introductions of new characters? Like, I'm having a hard enough time keeping up with the ones that we already got. Also, we still don't know where the fuck Arobin is. Where the fuck is Arobin at? Like, are we gonna defeat the king first and then Arobin's gonna be a problem? I have a feeling he's gonna work with the king. Just a feeling. Guys, all my footage from the other day was lost. Now I'm having to re-record, and I'll be honest with you. This book is a hot fucking mess. There's so much going on, and I'm here thinking, yeah, 63 chapters. It's about to be a breeze. No, bitch, it's not. Now that I've read a little bit more, we're gonna go ahead and go individually through each story. First, let's talk about Selena and Rowan. Rowan, obviously we know, he found her drunk and dusty in the middle of nowhere. So he brought her to Maeve because Maeve had an inkling that Selena wanted to talk to her about the word keys, and as sort of a trade on Maeve's part, she wants Selena to hone in her skills and become the queen that she was meant to be. We don't know how honest that actual answer is. I have a feeling that this aunt has some ulterior motives, because as we read further on, we find out that Selena's mother wanted Maeve to have nothing to do with Selena. I'm like, obviously, Mama didn't want you around her for a reason. So I don't trust you. I don't trust you, Maeve. Rowan is put in charge of Selena's training. After the conversation with Maeve, Rowan is taking her to her quarters, and they get into a bit of a heated argument where he attacks her character. She says some really nasty shit about Fae like him, make her understand why the King of Otterland is annihilating Fae and getting rid of all magic. He decks her in the fucking face. I cried so hard, dude. I was like, yo, now he's toxic too. He starts to provoke Selena because he wants to go in for some more jabs, you know what I'm saying? But he's like trying to provoke Selena to fight back. She does. She goes at him. And she hits Heir, bitch, okay? Secondhand embarrassment, I have never felt it so strongly in my life. After their whole little debacle, okay, he basically tells her, you are put on kitchen duty, so be ready at dawn. And right after that, we're gonna be training. And this is where we meet Emrys. He's an older gentleman who's been there for a long, long time. And Luca, I would say he's teenage years in Fae terms. They are all half Fae or like demi-Fae. Emrys does have a fully Fae mate who decided to stay in Mistward, which is little in-between space that they're at right now. I did finally figure out the name. Yes, I know. Big pat on the back to me. During one of these trainings, Rowan goes ahead and throws Selena into the woods to conquer these monsters. And he said specifically, you need to face them, not run from them, and you need to do it unarmed. And immediately she's confronted with this humanoid being that is not human and not Fae. So she's like, what the fuck is this? What Selena experienced from this creature was revisit every horrible death of a loved one that she's experienced firsthand. So not great. Owen is waiting for her and tells her, well, basically you failed, but also that thing shouldn't have been in there. Aelin threatens to kill him for the 50,000th time. Selena is slowly but surely getting control of her powers. There was a long period of time where she was just like not able to do anything. She couldn't even shift into her Fae form in order to use her powers because she was so terrified of it. We're still not sure completely what it is that Aelin is capable of. I just know she has fire powers and she's not in control of them at all. But you know what's crazy? I had a little theory that Rowan and Aelin might be, well, his power is ice. How crazy is that? Fire and ice? I mean, come on. Opposites attract. I think the final straw, that the tables finally started to turn in their relationship. Selena, she felt very lonely. She went upstairs to give Rowan and another new character, Gavriel, some soup and bread. Rowan lets her in, not without looking like he's going to kill her, but he does let her in. Gavriel is on the table getting tattooed by Rowan. Selena is dismissed. She stands outside the door, basically mid-breakdown. Rowan comes out angry and he's like, what the hell were you doing? She's like, you left me downstairs, you left me. And then he freaks out and he's like, I don't give a shit about you, you are nothing to me. And I'm like, oh. That breaks her. Like, I almost started to cry a little bit, bitch. I was like, damn, that's rough. The next day, Rowan comes into the kitchen to find her, and Emrys goes off on Rowan. Nobody ever talks to Rowan any type of way, but Emrys was like, what the fuck are you doing to her? You need to be the one lifting her up. If not for her, do it for what she represents. A new beginning for all of us. Our queen. He finds Selena and tells her to come with him. They end up going to a cave where Luca is tied up and chained onto a icy river. Rowan's task for her is to shift and stay in control of her firepower, which could melt the ice if she does not control it. Make it to Luca, free him, make it back. That is what she has to do. She gets there, frees Luca. It's a huge moment, okay, because we went from not being able to shift at all to being able to control the impact and the amount of power that she's releasing from her body. Like, this is a pivotal moment, right? And while she does want to celebrate, there is something beneath the water. A gigantic, monstrous thing. Selena and Rowan kind of work together to get Luca to safety. As soon as they are all back at Mistward, yeah, Selena beat Rowan's ass. Well deserved, okay? She basically tells him, don't you dare involve anybody else in my mess ever again. She breaks down about Nehemia and how in order to progress, Nehemia plotted her own death and she just doesn't want anybody else involved. In the middle of all this, she ends up burning Rowan's wrists unknowingly. He was just taking it. He was taking the beating. He was taking the burns. He was like, okay, yeah, like, I totally understand. And then Selena decided to bring him a tin of salve. And then that's when we kind of get a little glimpse into Rowan's past. And here's the thing. During the book, I started thinking, okay, maybe they could be mates, right? Because the word mate kept being thrown around here and there. So I thought, okay, maybe there's a reason for that. So it struck me as a surprise when we find out that Rowan apparently already had a mate and she died. Yeah, he blames himself. Basically, he went off to war and left his pregnant mate back at home. He didn't even know. He didn't even know she was pregnant. While he was away, he got word that their enemies were actually in Dornell. He flies back as quick as he can and it was too late. He feels like he failed them. That's what the tattoos all over his body are, is the story of how he failed them and his grief. Elena starts to realize that her and Rowan have a lot more in common than they initially thought, and that's when they make a pact that they are going to try to get through their grief and their pain and their sorrow together. Stop. I'm like crying. I was like, oh my god, that's such a cute little moment. Bitch, literally. Don't laugh at me. Don't fucking laugh at me. I'm so excited to read more about them. Like, ugh. It would be cool if there was a romantic relationship, but I think that the way it's set up right now, there is still that possibility, but it seems pretty far off. Also, Kale's still floating out there. She did end things with him, but he's still in love with her. She still has his ring. Like, there's obviously still some sentimental feelings there. So I don't know what's going to happen there or whether he's going to come back. I don't know. That's the story of Selena and Rowan right now. Let's move on to Manon. She and most of the witch clan, they are now working with the king and the king's sentinels. They don't know what they're fighting for or against. All they know is that they will be getting their land back and they get to fly again. Each and every single one of them are now promised a wyvern. In my head, I see them as like dragons, the closest thing that I could compare them to. She has her eyes on Titus, which is like the biggest, most ferocious wyvern there. In the middle of these sort of like auctions, I would say. There's a bait beast, and the other wyverns are to show their dominance and the way that they attack onto the bait beast. Now, there are 3 heirs to the leaders of the witch covens, and Manon is one of them. The other 2, I can't remember both of them, but Iskra, I believe, is the one who pushes Manon into the ring. Titus is there. And need I remind you, well, I didn't say it the first time, but Titus did just bite the head off of a sentinel for no reason. Unprovoked, just bit his head off. Manon, needless to say, is in danger. That's what we think, right? But just as Titus is getting ready to attack, the bait beast stands its ground and starts fighting back, basically marking its claim on Manon. So they're fighting back and forth, which is crazy because the bait beast is injured, smaller, its teeth are rotted, the spikes on the end of its tail have been sawed off. So it's crazy that this is even like a back and forth. But obviously the bait beast wants it more. Manon gets back to safety, but the bait beast is still in danger. She realizes she's got to go back and save him. The bait beast saved her. A life for a life. She goes ahead and chops off the tail of Titus while he is distracted with the bait beast, and the bait beast finishes him. She claims the bait beast as her own. That is her wyvern now. Her grandmother was not very happy about that. She ends up naming her wyvern Abraxos, which I honestly love that name so much. Abraxos and her start working together to build up his strength, his stamina, get him back to good health, and not only that, teach him how to fly. He has not been let out of the cave or allowed to fly basically since he was born, but he's a survivor and Manon has faith. So she goes to take him to fly. And bitch, it was the most emotional moment ever for me because they were about to splatter on the ground and basically be no more. But last second, Abraxos came through. She said that she could hear the joy from the noises Abraxos was making. I don't know. I literally could not. Like, it was so great. I love a good underdog story. I'm so invested in Abraxos and Manon. Like, please, I need more. Now, let's talk about Chaol. More specifically, Chaol and Adian. Remember when I said that Adian was a bad guy? Well, turns out he's not. He's playing the king, pretending to be an ally, when in actuality, he is working with the rebels. You remember the rebels that Selena was like attacking a few books ago? He's working with them to bring magic back. And Chaol is trying to bring magic back as well in order to protect Dorian. Before Chaol leaves off to Aniel with his father, he's working with Adian to figure out what happened, when the magic stopped, how the king did it, where it stemmed from, how they can reverse it. When I tell you the scream I scrumped when I found out that Adian was not the bad guy, that black ring he has that's supposed to keep him under the king's control, obviously Adian is Fae, and he smelled something off about that ring. He accepted it, obviously, but he threw it in some river and had a replica made. Here's another crazy thing. Chaol ends up being the one to break it to Adian that Aelin is still alive. As we will find out by reading more and more of the book, Adian and Aelin were basically inseparable. I feel like theirs is more of a familial bond, but there are certain times when we're getting Adian's point of view that it starts to get a little questionable. He starts getting these pangs of jealousy because of Chaol and Elena's relationship. Again, he says it's because Chaol knows her so well and he wants to know her like he used to, and he swore himself to her. I don't know the extent of that, what that even means. I don't know, I guess we'll see. Nothing really big has happened quite yet. They're still just snooping around. The only thing that I can say is that Dorian finds out about Adian. First of all, being related to Selena, because he finds out that Selena is Aelin. That secret's out the bag. I mean, to say that Dorian felt betrayed is an understatement. And Adian obviously finds out that Dorian has powers because when Dorian got upset, you know, He kind of is under the impression that Kaol kept him out of things because he could go back to his father and snitch. And that hurts Dorian, because as long as they've known each other, he would have expected Kaol to trust in him a bit more. That friendship is on the rocks. And we're on the last little subplot story. Remember that nurse? Her name is Sorshka. She was there to heal Dorian, Kaol, and Selena, and the dog, Fleetfoot, I think, when crazy stuff started happening at the last book. Any sort of treatment that she does, she's supposed to report about it. She did not, because she knew it would get looked into and the king might have some questions, and she didn't want to rat her man out. She has had a crush on Dorian since the moment she laid her eyes on him. He didn't know she existed. When he got treated by her this last time, he really registered who he was looking at. And he was like, wow, she's beautiful. So they start to have like this thing, kind of. Dorian's purposely getting hurt all the time in order to talk to Sorshka. I mean, obviously she obliges. What is she gonna say? No. They're cute. They're so cute. Dorian had ended up coming in for an injury. They were having a discussion. Something triggered him, and I can't quite remember what it was. And his powers basically bursted out of him. Literally ruined the entire room. Sorshka was like stunned for a moment, but immediately she was like, we're gonna blame this on me. Because obviously things are broken, shattered, that like they have to explain what the fuck happened in this room. Her overseer is going to have questions about why the entire freaking aid room is in shambles. And Dorian, for the first time, feels seen. Even with Kaol, he said that he could see the fear in his friend's eyes. Sorshka, though, I mean, obviously we know the reason why. She embraced him and had no fear and was willing to work with him through it. So now they're working together in order to try to figure out how to maybe quell his magic with iron, per se, because iron is basically the mortal enemy of magic. So if they can feed him a little bit more iron, it might help. But like I said, he finally feels seen and he feels comfortable with her and like he can be himself. And so they talk and they laugh and they work together, and then he kisses her. Sorshka doesn't know how to react, so she kind of flips the fuck out and dismisses him. We get a little POV into her head. She basically sees it as, there are so many beautiful women in this castle. He's the crown prince and I am no one. That was obviously a mistake on his part. He's gonna regret it. They meet up again. Sorshka is trying to act like nothing ever happened. Dorian's inching closer. As soon as things start getting a little too heated for her, she dips out. But she just stands outside his door. He goes to leave the room, sees her standing there. She sees him, she grabs him, and then they kiss. And that's where it left off. I don't know anything else. I'm super curious as to how and when they're going to have Manon and Dorian meet, because obviously right now we have the nurse and like what's gonna happen to her. Like, is she gonna get her heart broken? Manon and Dorian are just worlds apart right now. Like, I don't even see how, I mean, I guess I could see how their paths will cross since she's working for the king, but I don't know how they would cross, seeing as Dorian doesn't know about his father's extracurricular activities, okay? I'm also excited to see where Rowan and Selena's relationship goes and whether Kaol is gonna come back. Oh my god. Imagine Rowan and Selena do kind of have like this new budding romance, and then Kaol ends up coming back into the picture. Obviously their connection is solidified. Okay, they've been together. That was her first. What if she gravitates back towards Kaol and kind of leaves Rowan, and Rowan's just like sitting in like jealousy over there in the corner? Nobody puts a baby in the corner. Oh my god, the tension, bitch. I live. Another thing that I'm looking forward to is Adian and Selena meeting again. How is that reunion gonna be? Like, also, like, what is the extent of that relationship? Because I am confusion. Thank you. So I'm really starting to get pissed off at the Adian and Kaol situation. Please stop interrupting the good storylines. I understand why their story is necessary. I don't know where Kaol is gonna fall in all of this. You know, like, is he gonna have an important storyline or is he absolutely pointless? Finally, something interesting happened after the 2-3 chapters I read of them with absolutely nothing. Yeah? She's got her own opinions about this book, and she's letting y'all know. Apparently, the King of Otterland has been breeding some monsters. And Naruk, I don't know, some guy, is leading all of them to Wendlin. Adian and Kael freak out because they know that Selena is there, and that, to their knowledge, she hasn't mastered her powers. So how is she going to protect herself? I have a feeling it's that creature that Selena and Rowan are tracking. Also, they need Dorian and his magic to test how the king might have stopped magic. To be honest, I don't even understand that. I don't know what's going on here. Iskra better count her days, okay? Tell them. Because how dare you? How dare you even think about touching Abraxos? I don't blame Menon in the slightest. In fact, I'm surprised she didn't write out that girl. Obviously, she probably would have if her second and third hadn't gotten involved. Let me be completely honest with you. I am super sussed out by the blue blood Heir. I don't know what her motives are. Are you really on my side, or are you plotting against me, bitch? Menon is a real one for this. Some of you who have read this would remember the silk that Selena had gotten in order to protect Sam and put it in his suit or armor. Well, Manon just went to the caves of the spiders who create that silk, just giant spiders basically, and stole the silk from right under their noses for Abraxos' wings. Manon is a little rough around the edges, I won't lie, but her loyalty knows no bound. The fact that she risked her life, well, I mean, I guess it also kind of benefits her, because if he is able to fly, then she doesn't get her ass beat by her grandmother, but whatever, okay? I don't even think there's a character out here that could top Rowan. Reese is cool and all, but Rowan, Selena just almost burnt out. They were at this little festival thing. She just went up in flames. Her own flames were attacking her. Crazy work. Rowan is damn the consequences. He picks her up, basically burning himself alive. The healers are running after him. They sit her in an ice bath. She melts that shit and then starts boiling herself. Yeah, wild. He just keeps talking her through it, bitch. He talked her through it. Yeah. We love a man who can talk us through it. She finally was able to calm down. The healers were like, we gotta take off all her clothes. I don't know what the purpose of that was. Maybe it was just to help facilitate the regulation of the heat in her body. But she's butt-ass naked. And Rowan is still here. He doesn't even seem to be paying attention to that. He goes down to talk to the healers, get her some food, take care of her. And he comes back, he sees the scars on her back from Mendovir. He loses it. He cannot even stay in the room because he wants to go claw Maeve's eyes out. She didn't tell him the full extent of Selena's wounds. He honestly felt ashamed that he treated her so poorly because he had no idea that she had been through so much. He just thought she was some spoiled princess who abandoned her people. That's the extent of what he knew. Y'all, for the rest of the week, he has been taking care of her. Stop, because he is nagging, he is fussing. I love it. Kael, who? Selena, if you go back to Kael, I don't know if I can ever look at you the same way. Holy shit. I was right. That creature, that humanoid thing, is what's attacking them. Not only that, but it seems as if they are specifically attacking the Demi-Fae because they are able to put these creatures into the Demi-Fae. I don't know how they're going to fight these creatures and 200 soldiers off. Literally, the only ones with power are possibly Emrys's mate, Selena and Rowan. That's it. I don't know how this is gonna pan out. This is just a hot fucking mess, guys. I'm stressed so much. I literally fucking hate this book. The King of Otterland decided that because the slaves in Calaculla started a riot, he decided to put every single person down. They are no more. And just in case there was another uprising in Endovir, he decides to go over there and get rid of every single one of them as well. Selena was literally just telling Rowan about how she swore on her life she was going to go back to those people and free every single one of those slaves. And then this shit happens. What the fuck, bro? That's it. I'm done. I've had it. God forbid anyone tries to stand up to the King of Otterland and not even stand up to him, but just have their own opinions about the events that took place. Theater was holding a concert. This orchestra walks in. What this orchestra did was take the anthem of each and every single place that these slaves were from and did them back to back to back. And at the very end, not as a triumph, but sort of a slap in the face to everyone, saying like, this is what we have become. They played Rifthold's anthem. Next thing you know, the theater was shut down and nobody ever saw anybody from that orchestra again. The fact that Dorian hasn't killed his own father yet is honestly mind-boggling to me. Who the fuck is Bass? They're under attack currently, right now, by these demon princes, is what they are, the Volg, which, by the way, I feel like I've definitely heard that somewhere else. I think it was Akatar. The demon princes are from another land. They were sent here by the king using the word keys. That's why they're so powerful. They're fighting these people and they're just like, how the hell did they even know how to get past the barrier and go underground into this place that opens up right into the building? Luca sits here and tells Rowan it was fuck, I can't even remember. But that's what I'm saying. He's so irrelevant. Who the fuck is that? This is my first time hearing this name. I can't even picture who we're talking about right now. But Luca seems real hurt about it. Currently, Selena is out here risking her life. This, honestly, if Rowan and Selena do not end up together, this will be the biggest set of blue balls I've ever had in my life. They are so perfect. But what's beautiful about it is that they're just friends. Like, they just care about each other. Let's just talk about the fact that she defeated these Volg by overcoming all her fears and her pain and her guilt. Like, what? Aelin is so great, and I'm so excited to see her step into her power. She burned these motherfuckers to hell. I actually thought that Rowan was gonna come in and try to save her. He was gonna be kind of like the savior, but she saved herself. Like, yes, bitch. We love it. Feminism. She did need a little extra boost from Rowan. Surprise, surprise. We kind of knew. They're Karanam, and basically he was able to feed her power. His friends did come through. They only lost like 15 lives. I mean, sadness that they had to lose any. Let the king eat his doo-doo for breakfast. Fuck you. Babes, stop it right now. What the fuck just happened? Rowan is like, look, you proved yourself. We're gonna go to Dornell. He seems to be kind of pulling away a bit. And I think it's because they're finally realizing that they have to say goodbye. Also, they like claimed each other. Not like in that way, but like as friends. They take a trip to Dornell, confronted Maeve about everything. Maeve doesn't know anything about the word keys. But Selena's like, okay, keep calm. Maybe she can divulge some different information that will be useful. Maeve ends up confronting Selena about where the last word key is because Maeve wants it for herself. Selena refuses to tell her, but because Rowan is under a blood oath, he has to tell Maeve anything he's figured out. Thank God she had some sort of common sense. When she had found out that she knew where the third word key was, she was gonna tell Rowan, but she didn't. Smart girl. And for this exact reason, Rowan was like, you know what, don't even tell me. He tells Maeve, she's refused to tell me where the last key is. She brings Rowan's friends into the throne room to whip him. Alright guys, sorry. Duty called. I think I left off explaining to you guys that Maeve was basically punishing Rowan to manipulate Aelin into telling her where the word keys are. Aelin had a plan up her sleeve, okay? Rowan, back when they were in the cave, putting Luca's life in danger, he passed her a sword that I guess used to belong to Brannon. And Brannon, he has fire powers like Aelin, except his powers were vast. I mean, he's a very big, important character in their Fae history. But his bestie was like Maeve's little boo thing. But because Maeve's little boo thing / Brandon's bestie knew that Maeve was trying to get the word keys for herself, he ended up fighting her, and Maeve ended up killing him. There was this very sentimental ring attached to the sword. I believe the ring belonged to Maeve's dead lover, and he was supposed to give it to her. So this is a very important ring to Maeve. Elena used that to her advantage and traded Rowan's freedom for the ring. Maeve released him from the blood oath. Immediately after, Rowan runs to Aelin, kisses her on the forehead, bitch, and then swears his life to her and does a blood oath with her. What the fuck? Aelin didn't want this. He was like, you're free now. Like, I bought your freedom because I wanted you to be free. He was like, hell no. Maeve needs to know that I am attached to you. Together we are stronger. And she'll think twice before she comes after either one of us. The Queen of Otterland is having a rage fit. I hate that man. Dorian is right there with me. It's like, you know what? I'm letting my father rage. I'm gonna chill because Aelin Galathynius, aka Selena, aka my ex-lover, is gonna come back for me. If the information has reached the king, it's reached Rifthold in general. So Aedion, Chaol, the rebels, they all know that Aelin Galathynius is back. She's no longer being quiet, and she fought against the king. Very significant statements, okay? Normally, I can kind of get a sense or an idea of where a book is going. Obviously, I know that there's going to be some sort of war, okay? But how we're gonna get there. Whether the king and Aelin are going to meet personally beforehand. Obviously, there's gotta be like a holy shit moment where he realizes Aelin Galathynius was my champion, living in my castle the entire time. But you know, part of me wonders if the king remembers her to some extent, right? Because we know Dorian and her met. Dorian didn't piece it together, and that's probably because he was fairly young, but the king was a full-grown man. I wonder if he was looking at her and noticed some similarities. I feel like he might know. Also, we don't know if Arobin might have said something. Speaking of Arobin, I totally forgot to mention that we have to go back and see him. They have to go find him because Aelin had a necklace on with a little locket. That locket had the word key in it. She remembers having it on, and once she's here at Rifthold under Arobin's care, now all of a sudden she doesn't have it. She's like, yeah, he's got it. I know, because this book really wants to have me out here ugly crying every 5 seconds. The war game started. We're back to Manon now. It's giving very much Harry Potter. They're all fighting to get each other's eggs. And then Iskra, the stupid bitch, God, I hate this bitch so much, attacked Petra's wyvern with her wyvern and basically left the wyvern alive but so badly injured that they both plummeted to the ground. And of course Abraxos and Manon went and tried to save them. They knew they couldn't do anything for Petra's wyvern, but they did go and save Petra. And oh my god, the loyalty and the bonds between the witch and the wyverns, it's like, it's killing me. Like, I don't know why I'm crying. They start to care and grow these emotional attachments to each other. And then suddenly, because one fucking stupid bitch wants to be evil, wants to come in and fucking ruin everything. Oh my god, I want to rip Iskra's throat out. Please, I will be so happy. I will be so happy when this bitch dies. Sorshka's no more. Sorshka's gone, guys. So apparently Sorshka has been sending letters to the group of rebels about the king's movements. The king found out and basically beheaded her right in front of Dorian. No, I'm not about to cry about it again. Ooh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait until Aelin gets in there and does her thing. Talking about Aelin, the king has also set a trap for Aelin because Aedion, not knowing that the king was talking about Sorshka, outed himself as a traitor and as a spy to the king. It's just like the situation goes from not good to bad to worse to worstest. I think we're finding out that the king has powers. The king goes to kill Chaol, and then Dorian exposes his powers. But then the king fights back with his own dark power and says to his son, "Oh, I knew you had it in you, boy." What? He causes enough of a distraction and fights his father off long enough to get Chaol to leave. Chaol goes, grabs Fleetfoot, grabs some shit he's gonna need, and Damaris, the sword of Damaris, right? He runs off and he meets up with Ren. But here's the thing. Obviously, because Aedion admitted to being the traitor or whatever, he's being led to the dungeons where he's going to be locked up for God only knows how long, until Ren and Chaos find some way to break him and the prince out, because his father put a collar stone that he uses to make those rings for all the people that he has under his power, he brings out a collar made purely of that to attach to his son's neck. Dorian, we don't know what's happening to him, but something not great is happening. That much I can tell you. And this book just loves to do me so fucking dirty, bitch. Like, I hate you. This is the last paragraph in the book. She lifted her face to the stars. Holy shit. Sarah J. Maas, I hate you. She lifted her face to the stars. She was Aelin Ash River Galathinius, heir of 2 mighty bloodlines, but I can't even read. Protector of a once glorious people and queen of Terrasen. She was, oh my god, she was Aelin Ash River Galathinius, and she would not be afraid. Oh my god. I hope, now that she has stopped feeling guilty for Sam's death, that Sam just no longer gets brought up, because I can't keep doing this. I'm so sorry, but I can't keep doing this. And all that keeps replaying in my head is that fucking TikTok. My name is Sam Cortland, and I will not be afraid. And then he just starts fucking breaking down and crying and saying the same shit over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh my god, no. But anyway, that was the end of the Heir of Fire, and I love it, and I'm so excited to read more, and I'm gonna go now. Y'all, I can't.